Could I get your first name?
Corinna.
I'm Ulysses, my friend.
How do you spell that?
Corinna.
Gotcha. My name is Reed. Reed.
Hi, Reed.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, on this beautiful hot Sunday.
Yeah, did you just finish a hike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was the hike? Hopefully
Hence, I'm really into your water right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very hot but beautiful.
Yeah.
Saw some animals, like a hummingbird.
A hummingbird?
I love hummingbirds. Dragonflies,
Wow.
which I consider the horses of fairies.
The horses of fairies?
That's right. Little fairies sit there, but you can't see them because,
Okay.
they like to be invisible. Otherwise, people would freak out.
Uh-huh. Do you believe in literal fairies, or is that just a funny thing? Oh, wait, really?
Absolutely, I do.
Could we talk about that?
Absolutely. We can talk about anything. It's your show, right?
Yeah. Do you mind if I record? Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you so much. So fairies, what do you mean by fairies?
Little creatures that we don't normally see, like unicorns. We don't see them either. Do they exist? I say yes.
Both unicorns and fairies?
Mermaids. Do they
Mermaids,
exist?
what?
Yeah, for sure. Everything.
Everything?
Well, yes, I do believe, actually, when we come down to that, yes, I do believe everything exists.
Everything exists.
Everything exists because they're timelines. You might not see them, but it doesn't mean they're not there.
Everything exists.
I say.
Could you make up something right now that no one has ever thought of, and it would exist?
Well, I think that once you have a thought, you create it. Because I say that your thoughts, your words, and your actions are consistently creating. You don't necessarily experience that because life in itself is a moment-to-moment experience and are not actually connected. So you can have this thought right here and then this thought right here, but you might not never ever see this one because this one's so different. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Wow. So our thoughts can
They
they change reality?
Well, reality is an individual experience, isn't it? If you think about it, what you see through your eyes is your reality, and I'm next to you and we look at something and my reality will see something totally different.
Yeah. Is our perception different from reality, or are they the same thing?
I kind of think that your perception is the creator of your reality.
Of your reality.
That's right.
Are we sharing some shared reality?
Love is the shared reality.
Love is the shared reality?
Yep, I say. I believe, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just maybe have like an example. So there's maybe some Tic Tacs in these box. If I believed there's some Tic Tacs in this box, and someone else came up to the table and said there's nothing in this box at all, and they said that was their reality, would we both be equally accurate in our beliefs?
Well, who's to judge that the person who's speaking, let's imagine that this person's speaking truthfully to you and they really don't see the Tic Tac. So is that true then? I'll say yes, because that's what they see, right? If they don't see it, why would it make it less real than you seeing it and these others seeing it,
Yeah. Could we both be, if they
Right.
couldn't see it,
Absolutely.
but I could see it, how could we tell what's actually the case? Is there any way?
Well,
Does it matter what is the actual case?
no, I don't think it does. I think as long as you're happy with your reality, I think there's nothing wrong.
As long as you're happy with your reality,
Yeah, and if you're not, you have the power to change it,
you have the power to change it.
for sure.
Okay.
You're the creator of your experience, I believe, so you have also the power to change anything.
Okay. Well, let's go back to this just idea of fairies. Could I get a sense of your confidence that this is actually true, that these exist
I believe they do,
in
yeah.
our shared reality? Say on a scale from 0 to 100.
I say 100, of
You're
course.
confident. Okay, you can move that little tag to wherever's most appropriate for you. Way up there. All right. And what would you say is like the main reason why you're this confident?
Because I've seen a lot of things in my life and I've had a lot of experiences that make me believe that everything exists. So there is no doubt in my mind that it's real.
Personal experience?
Have I ever seen a fairy in a personal, like, eye to eye? No, I have not. But I've seen...
But you've had other experiences
Yes.
that cause you to have...
believe what I believe.
Cause you to believe what you believe.
Isn't that how it goes anyway? That our beliefs come from our experiences?
That seems to be the case. Now let's just talk about the reliability of personal experience as a reason for coming to believe claims like this of fairies. Are we guaranteed to believe things that are true based on our personal experiences?
Well, again, it comes back to what is truth, right?
Right.
Because your truth, I would never want to take that away. If I say fairies exist and you say no, they don't, then I have no problem with your belief. But I also believe that it starts with belief in order to see anything. So
It
if you really
starts with
want to
belief.
see things that are beyond your imagination, I think you have to start with believing that it's possible.
Is it possible for someone to believe anything that's not true?
Truth, coming back to truth, what does that mean, you know? I mean,
What do you mean by it?
I know how can we define truth if two people come together and then they separate and one says this was an amazing experience and the other one says this person is an asshole. Now who is being truthful and which reality is more real? I've had that. I have a twin sister and we both went into a store and had a guy help us, and I was in a bad mood that day and my sister was in a great mood, and when we left I said to her, he was a dick, and I'm sorry that's swearing, I'm not into that, but I just did it, and she said, what do you mean, he was totally nice, and that's not my experience at all, it wasn't. But to her, it was her experience. So now, who has the truth about this man? Am I right that he was a rude, or is she right that he was an absolutely nice man?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on what you mean by rude or nice.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
knows what I mean by rude, and most of us will know what we mean by rude. So we'll come back to this idea about what's truth. Individual, I say. Actually, I think it's very triggered by emotions.
Emotions.
Yes.
Okay. Like maybe going back to the Tic Tacs. Is it true that there's some Tic Tacs in here
For you and I, it is.
for us? And if someone thought there was nothing in here, would it be true for them?
If they don't see them, I'm saying, yeah, it's true for them.
Okay. If someone wanted to believe whatever was accurate outside of them, but they couldn't see this, but they wanted to know what was accurate out here in this world that we're living in, and they just couldn't see this, I don't know.
Well, here's what I
is there
think
anything
about.
we could do to?
Yeah, I think we could, in theory, because, I haven't met the person who didn't see the Tic Tac yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do think that life is about using your senses. So if the person wouldn't visually see it, maybe they could feel it. And if they were to be able to feel it, they might be able then to see it. So, the more senses that are involved, I think the more real it becomes.
Yeah, we could feel it or hear it.
Yeah. Or taste it. I mean, whatever.
Taste
There's
it, yeah.
like
So there's like
smell it.
there's some independent ways of
changing your
testing.
reality.
Right. So back to fairies. Is there any way to test this belief about fairies? Like testing the
Can you test a
the reality
belief?
of Tic Tacs?
No, I don't think so. You either do or you don't, right? I mean, either
Yeah.
you believe it or you don't believe it. But very often I think a person might change their minds once they see it. So a lot of people believe, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. I have to
Yeah.
see it in order to believe it.
Yeah, but we could feel the Tic Tacs and hear the Tic Tacs.
You and I can.
And taste it. Is it possible to feel, see, and touch fairies?
Well, I do believe we're coming into a different space of life. Are you still okay, love? Okay, good. We're coming into a very different time, a time
Okay.
that I believe I've waited for many lifetimes. And it's going to open up a totally different way of seeing life. It's going to show us things that many of us didn't believe in before. And once we see them, there's no way of denying it. Of course, you can still deny it, but please. I mean, here's, again.
I would like to believe this if this is true. Well, I want to believe whatever is true.
But it's
yeah.
up to you. In your heart, I think you know your truth.
But I also want to make sure I'm not mistaken about this belief. If I believe fairies were real, how could I tell if I'm mistaken?
Once you believe, how could you be wrong? I think.
If
I don't think
no
you-
fairies actually existed out here anywhere,
Who's going to prove what exists and what's real? I mean, again, I think we have such a small way of seeing the world when there's so much more out there, and I think that's just part of it. It's just beyond our view in a general way, but doesn't mean it's not there.
they could be out there.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Should I
So
just
you're
go
also
ahead?
open-minded, because I'm sure there's some that say you're ridiculous. There's no fairies in this world. And then I'll say, okay, that's fine with me. You
Yeah.
can go that way.
It's a non-zero possibility. They could be out there. I would just want to. I would like my confidence to be proportional to the evidence. And if someone is just saying they're real,
What about God? That's the same thing. You have no proof unless you think you do. But has anyone ever seen God? Yeah, I say I see it. I see God every day, because it's in all nature, in all animal, plant life, in all life is God, I say. So do I believe in God? Yes, I do. And yet there are those that say, you're ridiculous, Corinna, God doesn't exist. And then all I can say to that is, okay.
yeah, depending on the definition of God,
So it's the same thing.
if God is real, I'd also like to believe that, if that was real.
God is probably here.
Way up there. Okay. So,
And I don't speak religious. I'm talking about existence.
existence.
Has nothing to do with religion, no.
Yeah, so you believe fairies exist.
Yeah.
Like Tic Tacs exist? Or not
Yeah.
in some other way?
Sure.
Sure. So if we saw fairies just kind of flying around us, that would seem pretty good evidence that they are real.
Oh, I bet that a lot of people would see that as good evidence. And I would only feel like, yes, thank you for confirming me.
But if we never seem to find them, if we look everywhere, if we could look everywhere on Earth right now,
But you can't.
yeah, if we could and we just didn't see them, would that change your confidence about it?
It's such a hypothetical question. I can't answer this with a no. I mean, at this moment, all I can say is no, I will never change what I'm believing, because it comes from within. And I believe that the truth is within. And we all have our own truth, except the universal truth is love, I believe. So, but that I love maroon as my favorite color is also my belief. And it's maybe not yours, but it's 100% mine.
Yeah, it seems like there's a difference between facts and opinions. People can have opinions about their
But this
favorite
is an
color.
opinion, isn't it?
It's an opinion, but also a claim about what's real. It's a fact. It's a claim about reality that anybody could investigate
And
if they
so
wanted
is the
to.
claim about me saying that God exists, right? It's a claim about reality. So it just falls into the same category.
Yeah, so fairies could exist. Gods could exist. Could it be-
Unicorns.
So, yeah, is there any way to test this belief at all?
Some beliefs I don't think can be tested. They'll eventually show up, I think, as truth. Because, again, I believe that we are the creators of our experience, and this is my creation. So will I at one point see them? 100% I believe that.
If someone wanted to create their experience that they could fly, could they do that?
Well, right now, in this three-dimensional experience, we do have the law of gravity. There's certain laws that we have to follow. So if I jump off well, in a hypothetical way, I do believe that, yes, you could. But it takes so much belief that I don't think, as humanity in this three-dimensional world, we're not quite capable to do that. I mean, again, everything exists. So is there a person somewhere around who can actually fly? Yeah, I can believe it, even without seeing it.
Yeah.
However, I did see somebody fly before, so was it real or not? I don't know, but I can believe it could be real.
Could believe it.
Yeah.
Does it matter if your beliefs are accurate?
I think if your beliefs don't hurt somebody and they make you feel something, hopefully good, then there's nothing wrong with it. If you're trying to convince somebody of your belief and trying to force your belief on somebody else, then maybe you can look at yourself again and see if that's the best way to go
Yeah.
about it. But if it's your belief, and again, it's not affecting anybody,
Is that
your happiness?
Is that your son? Is this your son or
Son?
or friend?
Does he look like my son?
no.
He's only 13 years younger.
I
would have a
couldn't say
child,
no,
got
or a
pregnant with
husband.
12.
Whoever that is, if they believed they could
That is
fly,
my friend.
it's just your friend. If he believed he could fly, and he was on top of a building,
Would I stop him? For sure. I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe him enough.
is that a belief that he could just believe?
What?
That he could fly and that have it be accurate?
Not quite sure I'm getting what you're asking me.
Like, if he believed he could fly, would he be accurate in that belief?
Is it possible that he could be accurate? Yes. I know him well enough that if he were to say, I can fly, and he's about to jump off the building, I will stop him questioning if he's on drugs.
Gotcha. So some beliefs...
Some beliefs might be triggered by certain things that you're intaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having beliefs while you're being on drugs, I don't know, maybe you should wait until you're not on drugs. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So is there any possibility at all that you could be mistaken about fairies?
In my world, no. In your world, maybe. You know, again, if somebody wants to point their finger at me and say, Corinna, you're ridiculous, then I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, I'm still the one who goes to bed at night with my mind, and I know what's going on in there, and I stand behind me.
Okay. Well, all right. Anything else about that, Corinna?
I don't know. It's your show. What do you think?
Well, I want to believe this if this is true. If I just believed it was true, I would think I could possibly be mistaken. And I don't want to be mistaken because I think it's...
Are you afraid to be wrong?
I don't think it's virtuous to believe things without evidence.
What's virtuous again?
It's a good
Another
thing because
Turn it off.
we seem to be at risk if we believe false things more in general.
Who said that to you?
Well, if I believed I could fly and I just jumped off a building.
That's a little different, because if you believe in fairies, you're not going to get hurt by that, unless a person will beat you up because they think you're ridiculous and they're angry at you for that, because somehow they're afraid to believe it.
Yeah. Maybe if there were some other beliefs connected to fairies, like if I believed in fairies, they might have some type of ability to heal me. If I got cancer, I would maybe hope the fairies would cure me, and I would not seek medical attention or medical help. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, I never heard of their powers like that, but you know.
Yeah, someone could believe that. It seems like our beliefs have consequences.
Well, here's what I think. If you'd like to believe it, what you said in one of those phrases that you said to me, by all means, I think you should.
Mm-hmm.
If you're afraid that somebody's going to ridicule you,
Mm-hmm.
then we're talking about fear, and I don't actually think that fear is ever real in the moment. It's just what you're afraid of, what's ahead of you, or what you experienced in the past. But the only truth about life to me is now, right now,
Mm-hmm.
and consistent now, not connected.
Yeah, it's just being less wrong seems to be able to let you navigate reality more efficiently and.
But who is the one to judge that says that what is right and wrong? You know that there's a lot of things that humanity believes. That is a huge group of people that believes it, and I still don't believe that.
Yeah.
It's true. So
It would be like a partnership between us, between everyone. It's not up to anyone in particular. It's up to no one in particular about what's true. But we need to be able to talk about what is true, what is real.
well, again, I think the one truth there is love. So if we all would show respect to each other and accept each other for who we are and allow each other to be authentic to ourselves, whatever that means, whatever we want to say or wear or whatever, if it's not hurting somebody else. One law that I have is protect life. I don't kill anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Otherwise-
and whatever doesn't harm is also up to opinion. So some people could think people are lesser because of their skin color, and they could think it would help a lot of people if we judged the quality of character on people's skin color. Like, people could think that's not only not harmful, but actually a good thing, and that we should separate ourselves based on that.
Yeah, and I just think we're all one. So
Yeah.
there's no separation except our individualism.
Yeah, and if some people disagreed about that, how could we tell which one was more accurate in their beliefs?
I think all you can do is be truthful to yourself. And the more you are truthful to yourself, the more you reflect that in your outside world. And then the more you're reflecting, the more it'll change the world.
Yeah, if everyone is truthful to themselves, we kind of might hit a crossroads.
Unless we really believe in love, then there is no crossroad because we will be accepting each other, forgiving, understanding, allowing each other to be. And again, one law is to not hurt or kill each other.
Yeah.
You know?
If someone believed it was true to themselves that some people are less than because of their skin color, and they thought that was just true for them or true to themselves,
So all I can do then is
yeah, what should we do in
to
that situation?
remind them that there might be a bigger picture to this, or to give them insight about there is no difference. Why would the color make a difference?
There is no difference?
Not in my world. There has become one because there are certain behaviors that I see in certain cultures. But in an overall thing, when somebody's hurt and they cry, they all look the same. And when they're all laughing, they all look the same. It doesn't matter where they come from. It doesn't matter what language they speak. Emotions, this is where we're coming back to emotions. The triggers of, I think, what triggers any of us to do anything is our emotional feelings towards things.
Yeah.
And they're all the same.
It sounds like some types of evidence that anyone could investigate for themselves and see.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't depend on their own internal feelings or beliefs. They can investigate that for themselves.
Whatever we're interested in, we have the opportunity to investigate anything.
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to investigate if fairies are real, you can go on YouTube and type in fairies and see how many people have actually captured some.
Yeah.
And then, of course, some of them can be fake. But then listen to your heart. Your heart will know if you're looking at something fake or if you're looking at something that might be real.
If we listen to our heart about
we
it,
need to wrap that up.
we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Corinna.
Well, it's my pleasure.
If you see me again, I'd love to continue. We'll talk about maybe something else. That was very nice.
Yeah.
So cool.
You hang out here sometimes?
I do. I try to come out at least once a week.
Okay.
So that was very nice.
Cool. Well, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good one. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for the water.
Sure.